Yes, people, what's going on? £1 billion. That's the amount of debt that Manchester United have on their name, thanks to the Glazer family. Yes, it has been confirmed in Manchester United's financial results for the quarter, and it is not pretty reading and probably shows more reason why the Glazers may eventually sell. Fingers crossed, hopefully ASAP, immediately. But the debt right now, close to £1 billion, just shy of £1 billion sterling, way over $1 billion. And Manchester United obviously being in a position where we will be impacted because of financial fair play in the next couple of transfer windows. I mean, if we don't get top four, then we need to sell to do anything really. And even if we do get top four, we still have to sell to buy. Incredible state of affairs at Manchester United, and it probably shows you why the Glazers are looking for the exit door with all of their money. But we'll get into the article surrounding the financial results for Manchester United, which do show Manchester United owe almost £1 billion. And when you add that to the fact that the Glazers have taken out of the club in debt, refinancing, dividends and stuff, £1 billion, that's £2 billion this has cost Manchester United. £2 billion. Imagine where the club would be if that £2 billion was used correctly. You know, imagine if we use that £2 billion correctly, and all the money we spent, we didn't allow an accountant to run around spending it. Imagine if we invested wisely. Imagine if we didn't have to finance the debt. Imagine if we didn't have to finance the Glazers, where Manchester United would be. And that is exactly what Manchester United fans are on about when they say Glazers out. You hear so many different football fans that come back, oh, the Glazers spend money, this, that and the other. The Glazers don't spend money. Manchester United spend the money they make. And that money that they're making is being hugely impacted by the Glazers, because they're taking money out left, right and centre. They're failing to reinvest in the stadium, the training ground or anything else. It's a shit show. And fingers crossed it'll be all over soon. But the article says Manchester United owe £969.6 million through a combination of gross debt, bank borrowings and outstanding transfer fees with associated payments, according to new figures. The club released their second quarter results to 31st December on Thursday. Unlike previous years, there were no investor call afterwards as a result of the ongoing strategic review, in quotation marks, basically the potential sale of the club. The review itself centered on how to meet well, that's talking about. Let's look at the debt here. The principal debt remains at $650 million. A change in the exchange rate meant the club owed £535.7 million pounds compared to £477.1 million pounds. So when the exchange rate changes, Manchester United, obviously their debt is affected by that. In addition, £206.2 million has been taken from a rolling credit facility, with another £227.7 million owed in outstanding transfer fees. The club did have £31 million in cash or equivalent, but the overall sum remains just short of £1 billion, which is absolutely incredible. It says, indeed, United did post profits of £6.3 million for the quarter, which revealed sponsorship revenue has increased from 43.2% to 50.4 million over the prior quarter. It would have been impacted by the lack of football and things like that as well around the COVID break, and you'll see these numbers start to rise. The club said this was due to the impact of their training agreement with Tezos plus a one-off sponsorship credit, which they have opted not to detail. Wages were down 20.4 million to 77.3 million, a decrease of 20.9%, as Erik ten Hag's team are not in this season's Champions League. So those are the financial results right there. And as I said, and it was reiterated by Cave from Sky, Cave Solokol, who said, in 2005, the Glazer family bought a debt-free Man United. 18 years later, United owe $968 million, and more than $1 billion has been taken out of the club in interest, dividends and bank charges. Incredible that this is allowed to be happening. And the mad thing is, I don't think these kind of moves are legal anymore. These kind of takeovers. It's just shambolic. And the only silver lining or bright side to all of this is that it could potentially be all over soon with the Glazers leaving. But we will still be impacted. You know, no matter who buys Man United, they're going to be impacted in the summer in terms of the transfers. We're going to need to sell players. You're hearing Scott McTominay being linked with Newcastle, Harry Maguire being linked with a potential move away. United are going to have to sell players like that in order to raise funds to buy players and invest in other positions. Now, of course, new owners could come in and make money available, but you have to be in accordance with financial fair play. And that's what Manchester United are having to compete with in this summer coming up. One player that is staying for sure and definitely is Luke Shaw. David Ornstein, with an exclusive with Laurie Whitwell, has said Manchester United have agreed a new 4-year contract with Luke Shaw. 27-year-old's existing deal due to expire in 2024, but Man United now have deal in place to secure England left-back's long-term future at Old Trafford. So he'll be sticking around to this contract length will be till 2027. He signed for United in 2014. He'll be due a testimonial next year. Obviously, he's had a lot of peaks, a lot of troughs. As a man, it's been up and down for him as a Manchester United player, hasn't it? Now, injury hasn't helped, but his form hasn't helped at times as well, and his maybe application and his recovery from that injury wasn't difficult, wasn't easy. So, as good as Luke Shaw's playing at this moment, we have seen times where he's been dipping, but the form he's in is fantastic, and if he can keep that up next season and over the next 4 years, I'm sure he'll be our mainstay at left back. It's good to have that competition in Terrell Malacia there as well. This is ultimately good news for Manchester United, though. We don't have to really worry about that left back position while we have got Luke Shaw tied down. Of course, sometimes form can go, but he's been very good under Ten Hag, very good. The only one concern you have is, like you've seen before, he has great seasons and then bad seasons. Great seasons. He's very Jekyll and Hyde. But with Ten Hag hopefully guiding him and leading him on the right track, that won't happen this time around, and he'll stay in the good form. We also have more stories on Frankie de Jong. I'm not going to go into it too much, but we hear United believe that if Ilkay Gundogan signs for Barcelona in the summer, United will have potential to sign Frankie de Jong. Now, let's see what happens there, because I'd love us to sign Frankie de Jong. He'd be my first choice midfield signing. I think he'd be incredible for Erik ten Hag's side. Stick him alongside Casemiro and you have Bruno just ahead of him. That is, oh man, that's such a good midfield. But this story just, he obviously likes being at Barcelona as well, but they need to rejig things around. They've got the financial issues of their own. Who knows, maybe he will be someone they sell. But let us know your thoughts in the comments below on everything that we have discussed today. Thank you for tuning in. Keep it like, comment, share, subscribe and all that as well. United are back in action this weekend, so we'll have much more coming your way. See you in a bit.